As I understand over the years, every technology has a utility aspect, sustainability aspect, and a value chain aspect. As a development professional, and more so as an engineer turned development professional, we tend to focus only on the utility aspect of the technology, and the value chain and the sustainability aspect of the technology is mostly forgotten. Hi all, I'm Mehul Raghavan and this is Development Discourse. Today I'm going to discuss about a topic which is close to my heart, is technology and its application in a development context. Today I'm going to talk about technology in a much broader sense, not limited to any particular kind of technology, like it's not limited to solar technology or water purification technology or maybe MIS technology or Internet of Things. So it's not limited to any of the particular kind of technologies, but it is in a much broader sense all the technologies that is applicable in a development context. Learnings are better gained through experiences and the learnings are better shared through examples. So in this particular session, the major topics that I would like to discuss, that is the value chain aspect of the technology, the utility aspect of the technology and the sustainability aspect of the technology. For each of this topic I would like to share some examples, that's the example from the field, so that I can bring a better perspective out of it. One of the major aspect that I would like to discuss first is the utility aspect of the technology. For a particular technology to be successful in the field, the utility aspect of the technology should work out. That is, the beneficiary should perceive the right value for a particular technology that we are introducing in the field. Many times, as part of the project, some technology is rolled out. It may be having a subsidy component, so maybe the beneficiary may adopt that particular technology. But many a time, whether the community is going to continue using that particular technology, will it be in a sustained use, will it be repaired, will it be actually maintained, it will be used further, all these things will crucially depend upon the utility aspect of the technology, that is the perception of the user, the beneficiary, in valuing that particular product. This can also be closely associated with the financial aspect of that particular technology, that is the cost, the market rate that the person has to pay for that particular technology, and what are the various quantitative and the qualitative benefits that the beneficiary can receive from that particular technology. So if that doesn't work out, the beneficiary doesn't find value in adopting that particular technology, so eventually it doesn't first sustain in the field. One of the good examples from the field where the utility aspect didn't work out was in one of the solar lamp projects that we did, where already there was a project that was being rolled out where there is a subsidy component associated where solar lamps were getting distributed, and there was wide acceptance in the field and the people were very willing to adopt that particular technology. But once the project got rolled out and the program was over, when we tried to bring a revenue model out of this particular project that was happening, the people were not able to or were not willing to pay for that particular product. That is, when we were trying to do a revenue model, the cost of that particular component increased, the solar lamps became much higher, almost doubled. That in the field, then the response was quite low, because when we looked into the reason, eventually we understood that one of the major reason was that there was no livelihood that is getting directly associated with that particular technology in this particular context, because none of the people were using the lighting facilities for associated with any livelihood that they were doing, so they were not finding the value in putting that much cost into that particular technology to make it implementable in the field. The second crucial aspect about the technology is the sustainability aspect of the technology. Any of the technology will eventually wear down in the field, so it may require repair and maintenance, and also if there are large installations in the field, we need enough human capacity in the field to install those particular technologies. So all these are challenges which if the implementing area is much remote, it becomes a necessity to build capacity in the field so that these installations and the repair and maintenance can happen in a smooth manner. So all this becomes the sustainability challenges. The sustainability challenges is also associated with the ownership of that particular technology. If the community doesn't find that kind of an ownership for that particular technology, so they won't innovate for that particular technology. So there may not be some robustness in terms of the kind of way it can be implemented in that particular field. I came across a good example for this, that is the sustainability aspect of technology, the ownership aspect of the technology, in a solar dome installation in Rajasthan. This was a remote area, and there was one of the most remote area which I worked on, so there was no much connectivity, and the houses were also in a very conventional kind of houses with no proper roofs, So installation was much difficult, and if the installation goes wrong, the roof will get compromised, and these people already living in a much minimal kind of facilities, the roof started leaking next year during rains, so this will bring more challenges for them. So it was very crucial that the installation of these solar domes happens in a much proper way. But the person who are the funders who were investing for that particular technology were only spending for that particular technology. The cost of that particular technology and the installation cost of that particular technology should have been bared by the community. So that is what their understanding, and they insisted on this point largely because they want the product to be reaching the right people. Only who are willing to take the cost of installation would be having the installation of that particular solar dome. And there was no electricity connectivity, so the people were definitely finding value in this particular technology, and they were also ready to pay the minimal cost of installation. But the only issue is that there was no repair and maintenance services that is available, and the technology can be brought to that particular place only, but if the people were only willing to adopt that particular technology, own that particular technology and experiment on that, then can only that particular technology could be implemented in the field. So in this particular scenario, I found that the people were very interested in this particular particular technology, so they found out ways of installing. For example, in this particular way, they found out that if we use rubber sheets as a base for that particular technology, the leakage can be avoided. So they use the rubber tubes of the tire as a base for that particular installation of domes. So all these things no one taught them. So there was some normal technician that is nearby in that particular area, and he took up the technology and he experimented it with some materials, and found out the ways. And since he know that people are willing to pay for that, and there is an economic opportunity and all those things were working out, he owned that particular technology and experimented with it, and ultimately the results were observed in the field. Also various qualitative cues that we get from the field, which will help us understand whether the sustainability aspect of the project is in place or not, or the ownership aspect of the technology is in place or not. One of the good examples is when we were doing a community mobilization for a solar enterprise that we were trying to develop in the field. In one of the first community mobilization meeting, one of the leaders of the community actually came to me and asked whether he can use the smartphone that is provided as part of the project for covering the logistics of that particular assembly. Can he use it for his personal use? This may look like a very innocent kind of a harmless question, but these are the major cues from the field which shows that whether they are actually owning the project or not. Also, one of the major observations in this particular project was that the majority of the assemblers that we identified in the field were actually from the richer community. So they doesn't really have to be part of the program for earning a livelihood, but they were ready to be part of the program because they are free at home and they don't have much work, and this was never a priority for them. So these kind of observations from the field are very crucial in identifying whether the technology is actually sustainable or whether the ownership of that technology is in place or not. Another third important aspect of technology is the value chain aspect of technology. The very reason an implementing agency has to introduce a particular technology to the community shows that the value chain doesn't exist for that particular technology. But the value chain aspect is so crucial. Sometimes the utility aspect and the sustainability aspect works out, but the value chain, if it doesn't exist, the technology will not be sustainable. Even without a value chain, the technology can be introduced in a particular project component, but after the post project, once the project gets over, whether the technology will get sustainable or not will be crucially depending upon the value chain aspect of the technology. One of the good examples that I can remove from the field is we were trying to introduce a small capacity solar pumps for the regions with small heads where the water is available within 100-150 meter height. So we are exploring those kind of options, and there was a good solution from China which will enable the technology to be implemented to the field within 15,000 rupees. And if we can scale up the number of implementations, we could actually install the technology in much cheaper rates. But we were an implementing agency at that point of time, and the economics were not working out. And as a prototype, when I tried to introduce the import technology from China, it worked out, and the technology was providing fantastic results in the field. but establishing a robust value chain was becoming challenged because we were not a commercial agency. So establishing a robust value chain for that particular technology became very challenging as a non-profit organization. So eventually we had to scrap the technology. So especially when we are introducing a technology from a foreign technology as part of the project, it is very crucial to foresee how this technology can eventually become a value chain where this technology is readily available for the community. A technology is benefiting the community in its true sense when the technology is going beyond the project mode and the deadlines and establishing a market for itself among the community. This would also mean that implementing agency might have to play uncomfortable roles like a financial enabler, financial facilitator with banks for the community for buying that particular technology, or maybe providing as a quality checker for ensuring the quality of that particular technology, or maybe partnering with the technology provider for facilitating that particular technology to be effectively reaching the community, benefiting them in a sustainable way.